Welcome to the SV2 Big Think-A-Thon. Woohoo! I think I know most of you, but for those who don't, I'm Bill Brownell. I'm a partner with SV2, and I'm currently serving as the board chair for SV2. And I'm proud to point out that two previous board chairs are here, Nancy Heinen and Lance Force. Okay, Force of Nature, that's right. So, how many of you were here last year? We had an event like this. Good, okay. We have some veterans in the audience. I think we had really positive feedback about that event, and both the grantees and the partners, I think, found it valuable. So hopefully you'll enjoy this evening as well. And it's great to see so many fellow partners here, as well as our inspiring and talented grantees who you will hear from momentarily. For those who are new to SV2, I thought I'd just mention a couple of things about us. So we're basically a community that's focused on doing good. And we are all about learning together, giving together, and working together to achieve social impact. And in the process of doing that, we feel that we accelerate our own evolution as individuals and givers, as well as accelerating the progress of the social enterprises or social ventures that we invest in. So we've had a busy year this year in doing what we do. We've had grant rounds on education, economic opportunity, affordable housing. We've also had a pretty robust impact investing round this entire year. And by June, we'll have 5 new SV2 grantees and 3 new impact investees. So pretty good. So we've been busy. And also, we've continued to have learning events through the year. Learning is a big part of what we do. We've had a variety of topics, including how to do effective due diligence on nonprofits. If you join a nonprofit board, what does effective governance look like? And also, if you're giving and then sometimes thinking about the rest of your investment portfolio, how do you align your investments with your values? We had a really interesting session on that recently. We also have continued to have our really popular and fantastic SV2 Teens and SV2 Kids programs, which show that SV2 is kind of a family affair. So, and there's several in the audience I know that have been involved with that. We were recognized this year in a new report that came out that was sponsored by the Packard Foundation called the Giving Code. How many of you have seen or heard of this report? Great, so most of you have. So we were pleased to see that in that report they talked about SV2 as a key catalyst for philanthropy and social impact in Silicon Valley. So we're proud of that recognition. But we don't want to rest on our laurels, and in good Silicon Valley fashion, we're talking about, well, how do we take it to the next level? And so we're right now in the middle of some strategic planning. And I wanted to mention that because we have a set of ideas about what we could do over the next 3 years that are percolating around. And we're holding a couple of workshops in May to gather partner feedback. So if you're interested in joining us, we'll talk about the concepts we have and get your feedback and have some discussion. There's one of these workshops on May 11th at lunchtime, and there's another on May 16th in the evening. So we'd welcome you to join us on at least one of those. So we have a great night in store. We're going to give out a really important award shortly. Then we're going to hear from all of our grantees who are going to give us some challenges that they're facing. Then we're going to go off and brainstorm about these challenges, and then we'll reconvene later in the reception area for some dessert. So with that, I'm going to pass the baton for the next part of our program to our truly superstar executive director, Jen Rattay. Give it up for Jen.
Thank you, Bill. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. It's my pleasure to unveil the recipient of the 2017 Laura Arriaga Andreessen Social Impact Award. This award was created in 2010 and is named in honor of SV2's founder. Every year, the award is presented to an SV2 partner who has gone above and beyond in service of the SV2 community. And you can find the complete list of distinguished past awardees in your program. I'm delighted to announce that SV2 partner and board member Allison Elliott has been chosen by her peers this year as this year's awardee. Those of you who know Allison, like I know many of you do, you know that she's truly a big thinker, and she's equally a big roll-up-her-sleeves doer. After becoming an SV2 partner 7 years ago, Allison has gone all in at SV2. And as just one example, Allison stepped up to lead her SV2 peers in SV2's education grant round, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Since joining the SV2 board 6 years ago, she's stepped up even more into additional leadership roles. She has helped with our rebranding, our website relaunch, and has served on numerous board committees, including strategic planning and our grant-making review, and on and on and on. In fact, Allison is such a dedicated leader to the nonprofits she supports that she could not physically be here to be honored in person tonight. I know. Anyone want to guess why? That's right. It's because Allison is currently leading a board meeting on the East Coast. So classic, committed, wonderful Allison. As you can imagine, she's extremely sad to not be able to be here with everyone tonight. She's with us in spirit, and she's written some remarks that she's asked me to share with you. I'm honored to receive this award and to be recognized for a contribution to SV2. But honestly, the appreciation flows in both directions. Through the years I have been a partner, I have gained so much from the SV2 community and the work we do together. SV2 is a place where I can connect with others who care about giving back to a world that has given us so much. Together, we identify and support innovative social enterprises and leaders who are making a difference locally, nationally, and across the globe. SV2 not only builds the capacity of social impact organizations, it also builds our individual capacity as givers to support social change. Through SV2, I am part of something larger than just me and my family. Allison continues, founder Laura Arriaga Andreessen uses the term philanthropy of action to describe SV2 and its work. I love this description because I think it captures so much of SV2's unique value. SV2 is very much an action-oriented and dynamic organization. Led by active partners, SV2 continually experiments with new ways to build engagement and impact. Allison concludes, thank you, SV2 partners, SV2 grantees, from whom I have learned and continue to learn so much. I look forward to new opportunities to create positive social change with all of you. Allison will be back physically with us next week for SV2's first strategic planning workshop, specifically the one on May 11th that Bill mentioned. So hopefully you can all come out to that. It should be a lot of fun, and you can congratulate Allison in person then. To close, we are deeply grateful that Allison, like so many of you in the room tonight, has dedicated her wise, humble, kind, big thinking and big doing spirit to SV2, to our grantees, to the Silicon Valley community, and beyond. Thank you everyone for being part of SV2's determined and collaborative efforts to help bring our vision of a thriving Silicon Valley to life. Now, please welcome my colleague, very talented colleague, Ashley Clark, our Director of Grantee Impact and Community Operations, and Ashley's gonna tee up the next part of the program.
I will be your cruise director this evening, and I'm really excited to tell you a little bit more about all the big thinking that we're going to do this evening. But before I start on that, I just wanted to take a moment to say a few thank yous to the many people that made tonight possible. First, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Legacy Venture and New Resource Bank, for sponsoring this event and many things that we do at SV2. So I don't think they're here yet, but we'll give them a round of applause. Second, I'd like to thank our team of lead partners. They work all throughout the year very closely with our grantees and investees, and they've also been collaborators and co-conspirators in tonight's event. So I'd love to give them a round of applause for all of their hard work all throughout the year and tonight. And then finally, we are beyond thrilled to have 9 grantees and investees with us from our current portfolio tonight. thank you, big thank you to all of you for all of your hard work preparing for tonight's session and for all of your good humor in preparing for tonight's session. We're excited for them to share all of their work with you tonight. So moving on to the details. In a moment, each of these folks will come up and they're going to take the stage and tell us a little bit about their organizations and the opportunities and challenges that they're facing. They'll each have 90 seconds to give lightning fast presentations, and then we'll go into breakout sessions. So important thing to know, we'll have 2 breakout sessions of 25 minutes each. And the groups have not been pre-assigned, so it's super important to listen really closely so that you can kind of hear what everyone's saying and then determine which 2 breakout sessions that you'd like to attend. As you can tell, we think it's going to be a really full, but also hopefully fun evening, and we expect that as you go through the evening, you might feel like oftentimes you're just starting to get into the conversation, and it might be you might feel like, oh, I'm just getting into it, and then we have to stop. But it's kind of the spirit of the evening where we hope we're leaving you wanting just a little bit more, whether that's more time with our grantees and investees, whether that's more time with partners and friends, or more opportunities to engage in meaningful and impactful work at SV2. So I'm going to stop talking, and I'd love for us to dive in. I'm excited to welcome our first presenter to the stage, Chad Borges from Destination Home.
Okay. Hello, my name is Chad Bojorquez. I am the Director of Employment Strategies with Destination Home. Destination Home combines public funds from counties and cities with private institutional support from the likes of SV2 and the Packard Foundation and Sunlight Giving and Google.org, for example, toward building solutions to end homelessness in Silicon Valley. Homeless men and women want to work, but it's an enormous challenge to find and maintain stable employment while you're out on the street. So one of our efforts is focused on providing rent stabilization through a subsidy for a year while connecting these individuals to employment pathways. This way, everyone has an opportunity to earn and have purpose in the community. We are already establishing direct pathways into traditional employment pathways around healthcare, advanced manufacturing, so think like Tesla or machining, and the building construction trades. Given what Silicon Valley is named for, we think there's an opportunity to engage the tech sector in these employment pathways. These resilient individuals are eager to break into the tech sector in positions like help desk, advertising media design, and administrative positions, perhaps through some kind of supported apprenticeship style pathway that we could invent together in the Bay Area with companies that leverage technology. How might we build pathways to jobs in the tech sector that create life-changing opportunities for formerly homeless individuals while meeting the talent needs of the industry?
Hi, my name is Joe Rodriguez, and this is my co-strategist, Jane Gardner. And fortunately, for the second year in a row, we are competing with the Golden State Warriors for your attention. And we thank you for choosing us, and go Dub Nation.
I wanted to take 15 seconds of our 90 seconds for a thank you to SV2. 3 years ago, the big lift was just an idea. Today, we're helping 2,000 low-income kids to learn to read proficiently and to be motivated learners. We wouldn't be here without all of you, and we could not be more grateful. Thank you.
Only 50% of San Mateo County kids are reading proficiently by 3rd grade. The Big Lift is a collective impact initiative to increase that number to 80%. We are providing 2,000 low-income kids with the boost more affluent kids get. 2 years of quality preschool, 4 years of inspiring summers programs, plus family engagement to support reading and attendance. We have raised 2/3 of our $50 million budget, mostly from the county and federal government. Now we must demonstrate that Silicon Valley donors support the Big Lift.
When we present at events, we have found that potential donors self-select and come up to talk to us afterwards. Please come and brainstorm with us on where we might best pitch the Big Lift in the Bay Area. Forums, conferences, and other venues that socially conscious donors like you who are interested in education might already be attending. It'll be fun.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dana. I'm Dana Fraz from Food Shift, and Food Shift is working to develop solutions that reduce wasted food, provide jobs, and nourish communities. We have so much food in this country, yet 40% of it is currently going to waste. This takes a massive toll on the environment through wasted resources and creates methane, which is contributing to climate change. Wasted food is obviously also a loss of nutrition that could be feeding our communities. And we know that food by itself will not solve hunger, and that the food recovery and food distribution sector is limited. There has to be a better way to connect this surplus food to people who need it. Last year, with support from SV2, the Food Shift Kitchen launched in Alameda. And we're a social enterprise that uses surplus fruits and vegetables and transforms it into products that we can sell, as well as distribute to food insecure communities. We provide employment and job training, and we're looking now to generate revenue from the sale of our products. The question that we have tonight is, how do we create that package, that label on the package? We know that most people probably won't go for buying a product that says "eat waste." So what is that catchy tagline that can really get people inspired, that's authentic to who we are and to our mission, but also appealing to people's taste buds? Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Megan Villanueva, and I am the Development Associate at Global Press Institute. At Global Press, we aim to create a more complete narrative about the developing world. And to change the story, we first must change the storyteller. Global Press operates a training to employment program that offers local women the opportunity to learn the principled practice of professional journalism. We employ 100% of women who graduate from Global Press Institute to work as reporters for our award-winning publication, Global Press Journal. We then syndicate their stories via Global Press News Service to partners like NPR and PBS. Over the last 11 years, Global Press has trained and employed 181 women to be ethical investigative journalists across 26 countries and increased access to critical information for millions of readers. In the midst of a drastic political and social shift, many U.S. philanthropic organizations have responded by prioritizing domestic initiatives over international initiatives. While support for social causes in the U.S. are needed, this is also a critical moment to bolster access to ethical information about developing communities in order to foster a more informed and engaged global citizenry. So how might we encourage individual donors and general news readers to continue to invest time and resources in fair representation of developing communities during this time of extraordinary global consequence? Thank you.
I'm Ian Inaba. I'm the president of Learners Guild. We're a Bay Area-based education startup. Our mission is to create opportunities for a dignified livelihood for everyone. And how we're doing that right now is that we're creating the next generation of trade schools where people can gain the skills they need to participate in the 21st century economy. So when we were first designing the program that we're running now in Oakland, which is a 40-week program focused on getting people jobs as software developers, we realized that the underrepresentation of women, people of color, and low-income folks also represented a high potential for talent in those communities. So when we were designing the first program, we also knew that the offering had to be affordable for people that couldn't afford to go to a 4-year program or a traditional boot camp. And so what we designed is a risk-free, no tuition upfront model where people only pay us back if they get a job over $50,000. That's right, we don't get paid unless they get a job over $50,000. And so we think that aligning their outcomes with our outcomes really will help us design the most effective product. So the other thing that we found, though, was that taking the tuition out of the equation wasn't enough. We also had to provide people the ability to pay living expenses while they're in the 40-week program. So what we did is we designed a living fund where we have impact investors investing directly in cohorts of our learners, and they get paid back just alongside the same way that we do. And so what we're trying to figure out, though, is that as the demand for our program is scaling, we had 50 people last weekend show up for 5 slots, that we need to be able to also scale our living fund. And so the challenge for you all is how do we best position our living fund so that we can maximize the investment not only from individuals and foundations, but also from corporate investors as well. Thank you.
So good evening. This is Jing Shi. This is my co-founder Lala Zhang. We are the founders of Learning Genie. It's an ed tech company. We create tools for educators. I think the last 5 years, federal and state departments of education has installed a quality rating system with the intention to help preschool teachers to know child better by documenting and rating their assessment. However, with the good promises, it created a lot of trouble for our teachers and actually increased a lot of turnover of teacher base because of the high paperwork demand on the teacher. So in Learning Genie create an app. Okay, it's more like an educational Evernote. You can create child portfolios and help them to assess. So in the last year, with the support of SV2, we demonstrate that it actually can save 85% of time of teacher to do that job, and we have grown 670% in the last year with supporting 15,000 teachers right now and more than 100,000 children, most of them from Head Starts and the state preschools.
As a fast-growing company, we also face challenges with limited resources and funding to sustain our high growth. So how might we attract the funding and the resources to scale Learning Genie fast in a changing environment and also expand our service to many early childhood educators, families, and children and communities for the better outcome of our children? Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Shabri Raja. I'm co-founder and CEO of Nepris. We are a first-of-its-kind cloud-based platform that helps connect industry and education. 47% of kids who drop out today do so because they don't see the relevance of school. Yet there are millions of professionals out there who have the skills and the knowledge to bring this relevance and career exposure to students. This is easily said than done. This is where Nepris comes in. We connect these professionals from around the world virtually to rural and urban classrooms. Today, through Nepris, students are meeting geologists, engineers, scientists, architects, and many more professionals without leaving the building. Companies like AT&T, Samsung, and General Motors are proactively offering virtual field trips, mock interviews, Shark Tank sessions, bringing the workplace to every classroom. We offer a free version for teachers. We also sell premium licenses directly to school districts. We've also introduced a white label version for intermediary organizations like economic development, workforce development groups. We are the technology powering these ecosystems. Today we have over 25,000 teachers in the US with 20,000 professionals in the platform, and last year we reached over 160,000 students. With a Series A raise in the plans for this year, we believe it's the right time to address international market interests. The challenge to you today is how might we determine which countries outside the US is best for this expansion? From your experiences, what are the best practices and pitfalls that we can learn from you? And I really look forward to receiving this feedback today. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Trinia Miss T. Smith. I'm the Director of Programs with the Silicon Valley Urban Debate League, and I'm very excited to be here. Starting my own journey 15 years ago as an urban debater, I know firsthand the value and importance of urban debate leagues. SVT's mission is to use the academic sport of debate to empower young leaders by making smart cool. But what does that mean? SVT delivers innovative, impactful programming using the academic sport of debate through our after-school debate teams, our legal pipeline program, and our in-school debate courses targeting low-income students, students of color, and first-generation college students. Our model focuses on these underserved school communities using our after-school programming as a way of helping shift the trajectory for these young students' lives by providing opportunities and skills that help ensure their dreams of succeeding in career, their personal lives, and even in their academic space a reality. Though debate is an age-old activity, historically is placed in urban communities, can be difficult when seeking innovative ways of sustaining and engaging our stakeholders in these communities. Right now, our challenge statement for the night is seeking ways to constantly engage these stakeholders in meaningful and impactful ways. So our challenge statement for the evening is, how might we engage volunteers other than debate judges or legal mentors in order to offer valuable and meaningful engagement for both of our students and the supporters that we have in our community? Thank you.
Good evening. These challenge statements are hard. May the force be with you all. I am Celica Rodriguez Deems, Director of Programs with Somos Mayfair. For the past 20 years, we have served the Mayfair neighborhood in East San Jose to reverse the cycle of poverty. A key to our recent success has been the development of a network of peer educators that lead community building activities in Mayfair. Our peer educators are effective in working with community because community members are able to identify and trust them. Other organizations serving neighborhoods similar to Mayfair have been less successful and have asked Somos for our advice and help. After several successful pilot engagements, Somos will seek to satisfy this market demand with the development of a peer educator cooperative model that will allow for peer educators to significantly increase their supplemental income for their households. While launching this initiative is a logical next step for the economic well-being of our peer educators, our stakeholders may have questions about Somos' continued focus and commitment to core programs. How might we reassure our stakeholders that the launching of a peer educator co-op is actually furthering our mission? May the force be